Hello soulmates, welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'll be teaching you how to cut and how to draft a dartless cup corset. So if you've been drafting your corset and your cup is always coming out flat, don't worry, I am here with a solution of how to convert that flat cup into a very full cup. So if this is something that interests you, please like this video, comment with your favorite emoji, share this video with your friends, subscribe to my channel, and without wasting much time, let's get started. Welcome back, guys. Like I said earlier, this will be a dartless cup corset. So I just started by labeling my lines. As you can see, my shoulder, my upper bust, my armhole, my bust, my under bust, my waist, and my blouse length. So after you are done, you just draft a basic body measurement without a dart. Just draft the person's or your basic body measurement without a dart. So as you can see here that I'm trying to draft my armhole at this point, and after I'm done drafting this armhole, I'll just proceed to measure my bust, my waist, and my hip. And please note, for this pattern I'm not adding any seam allowance whatsoever. So when I want to transfer it to my fabric, I'll be adding all the seam allowance needed. So yeah, I'm measuring my waist. You don't have to add any dart, just measure your waist measurement divided by 4, the bust measurement divided by 4, and at the blouse length over there, you just measure your hip measurement divided by 4, you measure everything divided by 4, then you connect the line. After you are done connecting like the way I did, you go ahead to measure your nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2. You measure it. So you start measuring from under bust to your waist, down to your hip, and to the upper bust. So you just use your ruler to connect everything together. So at first I didn't roll this upward, but you need to roll it up to the upper bust area. So the next thing is to measure half inch depending on how low you want your corset to be. So mine, I'm measuring half inch at the armhole area, then at the armhole area. So and I will connect from that point down to this under bust line. I will connect it just like this. This is what I will connect. So if you don't want it to be this low, you can make it a little bit upward, or you can even go downward if you want it to be very low. And at this other part that I measured 1 inches, depending on how busted the person is, I'm using 1 inches here, but I later changed it to 1.5 because I noticed the cup will be too wide. I'm not that busty, so the cup will be too wide for me, so I changed it to 1.5. But if you are busty, you can just use one, just measure 1 inch from your bust area, a bit like that. But like I said, when I noticed mine will be too wide, I changed it to 1.5. Then you connect it just like the way I'm doing. You connect it to this armhole area. So after I was done, this is what I have. So the next thing I'll be doing is just to roll out these lines with my marker so that you can know which line I am using. So now it's time to draw the upper part, to draw the curve at this upper part. So for us to draw the curve at this area, so depending on how high you want the cup to be, for me I'll be using my upper bust, so I'll just be connecting it, and this line will be from the armhole. You see, like that curve we did towards the side area. I don't know if you get towards that side area. I'll be connecting this to the armhole. Yeah, just like this to the armhole. So if you don't know how to get this, just measure half inch away from your armhole, then you connect like that. because you know this thing, this curve cannot be towards that upper part. It has to go to the waist, to the side rather. So that's it, just the half inch away, and you connect it inward like this. So after you are done connecting like this, it is this shape, this cup, that will now convert into a cup. This flat pattern, this is what will convert into a cup. But before then, let's draft our back pattern. So for my back pattern, I just need my armhole line, my waistline, and my blouse length. I'm using the extension of this line because I did not do any side darts at this area, so I can still use the the measurement. So I just need my shoulder, my armhole, my waist, and the bust length. So the same thing, you go ahead to measure your armhole, you draw your armhole curve, then you draw your basic measurement, that is your bust, your waist, and your hip. So after I was done connecting, you know the half inch we took away at the armhole for the front, we'll also mark it at this area. So in case we want to do a tube, so the tube will be starting from there. Just note that at the back area too. So I'm just doing my shoulder slope and all those regular stuff. Though we don't need this yoke, but in case you want to do a corset with a yoke or whatsoever, you can just do that. So at this waist area, I'll be snatching the waist a little, and this also prevents zip bulging in case you want to use a zip, and it is also used for snatching of the waist. So I'm just doing 3/4 inches here. I'm doing 3/4 inches. So in case you take away 3/4 inches here and you know it will affect your body measurement, you can just find a way to add it back at this waist area. I will show you how to do that very soon. I'm just using my marker to roll this out. So this is what it looks like. And I'm just using my marker to draw out the curves I have at this point. So now I'm trying to add back what I took out. As you can see, I'm trying to blend this in. So me blending this in will kind of ease out what I took at the zip area. I don't know if you get. So you know it's not sharp again, so it will kind of ease it out. So this is what I have. So in case you want to make it a lacing or you want to use a zip, so in case you want to use a lacing, you just take out 2 inches. I'm sorry, I'm not showing that. Just take out 2 inches. You measure it according to the new line you draw at that zip area. You know we've took out 3/4 inches, so you follow that line, then you draw out your lacing. So this is my front, and I don't want to cut this out because I'll still be needing this pattern for other things. So I'm just trying to transfer this flat cup onto the paper underneath it. So I'll be using my tracing wheel to just transfer this. And there are two methods of doing this. Is either you transfer this to the pattern, and this is what I have after transferring. As you can see, it is the same thing. Or you just measure, you take the measurement of this lower part, this curvy part. You take the measurement, just see the way I'm doing my tape. You take the accurate measurement, you write it down. That's for the lower part. You take for this upper part too. You write it down. You take the distance, that is and measuring it again, you take the distance, that is the span of this, you write it out. You take the height again, you write it out. Then what I do next is to take the distance from here down to the bust area, and from the bust area down to the under bust, because it can't be equal. It is always longer than each other. So from the upper bust to the bust area is always shorter than from the bust to the under bust. Just take out that. Then I measure again too, from this bust, the span, I measure it again because they are not equal. So I just try to note that. So if you know you can't do that, just cut out this piece of paper, then you try and transfer everything you have onto the paper, like the way I'm just doing. Just transfer it. Just transfer it. So when you are drafting, you just have this paper with you and you are following it. Please, this part is very important because this is what will be transforming into the cup, into that full cup you saw earlier. I'm trying to make sure that everything is balanced and every measurement is accurate. So once I'm done, it's time to draft our cup. So I'll measure what I have at this point, then I'll be adding to the bust span and not the height. So the bust span, I'll be adding to it depending on how busty you are. For me, I'm adding 1.5 in total to the bust span. So let's assume my bust span is 6, so I'm adding 1.5, that's 7.5. But from the measurements, you know that one side is longer than each other, so I'll just divide the 1.5 into 0.75, and whatsoever I have at the left, I'll add the 0.75 to it, and whatever I have at that part, I will add the 0.75 to it. I hope you get. The bust span, that is the wideness of your cup, not the height. The wideness of your cup, that is what you will add extra measurement to it. So for that height, you don't add anything. So whatever you have from there, you measure it, and for the upper part too, you measure it. So it is the bust span that we are adding. So like I said, mine was 6 inches and one side was 2.75, while the other part was 3.25. So I just add the 0.75, 0.75 to each of them. Then I'm rolling in line, just like a box. Just as if we want to create a box. So the cup will not pass, it will not surpass this box. I like to draw my box like this. So at this lower part, depending on how busty you are, you can take out 1 inch. But for me, I'm not that bust. I'm taking out a 0.75, 0.75. So after I'll take out 0.75, I'll connect it upward like this with my curvy part, with the curvy part of my French curve. Then I'll also do the same thing too for this upper part. Please note that as you are looking at this video, this is the height of this pattern is the height of the bust of the cup, is the height, so that you don't get confused. So after, the next thing to do is at this part, take out 0.75. You know, one side is fuller than the other. One side is closer to the chest, while the other part is closer to the waist end, to the side. So the part closer to the middle, to your center, like the middle, to the middle, you take out a 0.75 at the lower line and 0.75 at the upper line. That means you are taking out 1.5 in total from this side. And from the other part, you are taking out 0.5, 0.5. In case you are confused, just take out 0.5, 0.5. I will still show you a very clearer picture of this so that you can see every measurement I took out. Just keep watching. So this side I'm taking out 0.75 and the other side is 0.5. So now I'll connect like this from this part here down here, and I'll also do the same thing too for this part, like this, just like this. So now you remember the measurement we measured the other time, that is, we measured the lower part, one curved part round. I'll still show you, and the other part too. So it's time to now take that measurement. So I'm trying to take this measurement of the red part that I've ruled out. I'm not taking the that with it though, just this red line that I've measured. So I took it out, then I'll be deducting it from the round of this paper, like that is from the curve. You know this pattern is like U, so the U is the full measurement and the upper part is the smaller one. So this longer one is what I'm taking out. So let's assume my roundness is 13, and after measuring this small red line I have 8. So what is remaining is 8 minus 13, that is 5 inches. So I will not divide that 5 inches into 2, then I will measure it from this part upward, from the upper part upward. I'll divide it into 2 and I'll measure it upward. After I'm done with that, I will now connect it to the upper part over here, to this middle part. So this is what I have. I hope you can understand what I'm trying to explain. I really hope you can understand. I'm trying to use my marker to connect this together. So this upper part now is this upper part of that flat paper, while the remaining part here, I will still show you. This upper part is that part, yes, while the lower part, that U, the one that is like the U, is the remaining part. This lower part, this red at this lower part, and the straight, I'll still use my marker to rule it out so that you can understand. So now I'm measuring what I have here, and I'll measure what I have on my flat paper. So I think I noticed that what I have on my flat paper is like 7. Let me assume it's 7, and what I have here is 8. So I'll just, the difference is 1, like that. So I'll just divide the difference into 2. So I'll just take out 0 0.5, 0 0.5. So after taking out 0 0.5 on both sides, the remaining line over there will now be exact what I want. So now measuring this short line, that line, that line, and that line, it will give you the roundness, the U of this measurement. So I'm writing out all the darts that I took out, so that when I do a closer video, you will understand. So this is it, guys. You can just pause the video at this point to see everything. So this is my full pattern, and this is what I have. This is the cup I have. As you can see, we've transformed this flat, we like call it a cup, into this. So the next thing I'll be doing is to go ahead and cut a cup out. So I just go ahead and cut it out. So in case you don't understand what I explained about this cup, when I'm joining it together, you will understand better. So I'm cutting out all the dots, and this is what I have. I'll try and label this, because if you don't label it, you will get confused. Just label 1, 2, 3, then you put your arrow. So after putting my arrow and after taping it together, this is what I have. So as you can see, that this U that I'm talking about is that part. I don't know if you understand. This is how it will look like on this pattern. Let me turn this over so that you can see this part. As you can see, this part is matching this perfectly. As you can see how it is, like it's looking like a cup. So this was what I made with this Ankara, and I will explain how I made it. So these are my patterns. I went ahead to cut my stay, and it is exactly the same as my pattern. I didn't add any allowance to this, but for the fabric I added ½ inch round, that is to join. We need ½ inch to join this. So I went ahead to add ½ inch to this. Then I also add ½ inch around this one too. Please just let me know in the comment section any part you find confusing, because it may be confusing if you are a beginner or you don't really understand corsets. It may be a bit confusing, but just let me know in the comment section and I'll try my best to explain better. So after I was done sewing, this was what I have. So I just used my zigzag stitches to sew this stay, and this one I just joined it with ½ inch sewing allowance. I just added this bias for just to beautify the cup. So I will add hemming gum to this just to stick this foam, to stick the foam to the fabric. I'll add hemming gum to it. Then I'll just go ahead and turn this cup with the lining. I'm using the same fabric as the lining. I'll just go ahead and turn it. Then after turning, this is what I have, guys. This came out beautifully. So if you follow my procedure, I can assure you that your cup will come out as beautiful as this. So let me know in the comment section if you have any question regarding this. Just let me know in the comment section. So I'm trying to place my cup to this pattern, and I noticed that, I don't know if you noticed, this smaller part should be at the other side. So I've flipped this over just to make sure it is rhyming. As you can see, it is perfect on it. So I'm trying to turn this. I'll just flip this cup over so that it can match, because this other side should be at that edge. I don't know if you get, you know how this pattern works, one for the left and right. So I made the left, and this pattern is a right pattern. So this is just how it will look. As you can see, it came out well. So thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, like, comment, share with your friends, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.